Welcome back to Upfront. For thousands of Wisconsin students, COVID-19 brought an abrupt end to classroom learning. The academic year is effectively finished, with students not returning to their schools this spring and learning what they can from home. We're looking at the impact on students and schools with Mike Thompson, the Deputy Superintendent at the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction. Thank you for being with us today. So students will be missing almost 3 months of school at this point. Of course, parents and guardians are doing everything they possibly can. But what do you do to make up for that lost learning, which must be happening?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a great discussion that school districts across the state are engaged in now, as they know very likely that they won't be coming back this school year, and how they're going to make up for that loss of learning. They're creating plans now of how to be able to move into summer school to make up some of that lost time. And then, of course, as we move back into the fall, what's the fall going to look like? Is it going to be back to normal? Likely not all the way back to normal. And so in that kind of environment, what's the best way we can meet the needs of kids, catch kids up that have fallen behind, and make sure every kid can continue to progress? It's a question that's being asked across the state.
And when you talk about the fall likely not being what we call back to normal, what do you expect at this point?
Well, I guess I would say we need to plan for a lot of different scenarios. We need to plan for a hybrid scenario. We need to plan if people can, and hopefully would be the case, go back to full operation with the bricks and mortars, or if we have to maintain an alternative environment, which is in some cases virtual, in some cases it's learning packets. How would that look? So I think that's the planning part that's going to go on over the next several months. What is it going to look like in the fall? How do we make sure we maximize the learning experience for kids as we now have a little bit more time to plan for what comes up next?
What are health experts telling you in terms of that potential spike that we could see again in the fall, and what that could mean for school year planning?
I think we hear, I do personally hear kind of varying reports around that. I think with the idea is that we should follow the advice of the health professionals and maximize the safety of our constituents and kids and everybody else in doing what they say happens. But we hear from everybody that it is not simply going to be, you're not in school now today and tomorrow you are in school. It's going to be a phase-in approach likely, and that's what we're hearing. And that phase-in might come over the summer, and we'll see where it's at in the fall, or it might continue into the fall.
And so in terms of summer school, what is happening with that?
Summer school districts are starting to plan for summer school. Right now, the order is that schools are closed for all activity, academic and extracurricular, till June 30th. If that stays the way it is, schools might engage in some summer school activities in an online format in June if they choose to start then. They may choose to start summer school in July. They can choose to start summer school anytime they want.
Well, I know that there's concern that this will push all students, but especially certain students, back further. Maybe students who have difficulty learning, or students who don't have access to that technology. How are you making sure that students don't get left behind during this?
Yeah, that's a great question, and this, if nothing else, it does shows that we have equity issues around what kids can access, what kids have access to online across the state, whether people even have access to an internet, whether they can, much less afford an internet or access to the computer. So there's great inequities around that. We're trying to, if nothing else, it has really pointed out where those equities exist, that we can start to tackle some of those inequities as we move forward. And we're really going to have to look at that, as we go forward into the next school year, of how do we minimize those inequities for kids. So it's the whole purpose of public education. Every kid has a right to become career and college ready, regardless of condition. And that includes a pandemic, and that's what we're working through now. And I think there's been some good thinking around that, how they can maximize some of the resources that they have, how they can meet the needs of kids. But that is one of the top priorities of school districts in figuring out.
Any talk of getting these kids more resources? Because I know here locally in Milwaukee, students just recently received Chromebooks, even though they'd been out of school for a month.
Yeah, there is a recognition that there needs to be resource support, and in fact, the federal government is stepping up with some resource support through an allocation through the Title I formula that's going to provide additional resources just for school districts to really address issues that were caused by the COVID-19, and those include helping kids get back to making sure that they don't stay catching kids up, making sure kids have equal access to resources. Some of those resources will be helpful in that regard.
Mike Thompson, Deputy State Superintendent, thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Coming up, huge numbers of absentee ballots cast in Wisconsin's most recent election. Did it affect the outcome?